Hello, this is Kishore. I'm going to take you through a REST application that is developed in Relational Application Developer 8.5.1 that is supported by WebSphere Application Server 8.5. Okay, let's create a web project because this is the new change from the latest version. You cannot have dynamic web project kind of or static. You only have a web project. So you create a web project and you call it as a res demo. It's a Java EE based, and let's go. It's res demo ER file, which is good, and just finish it. So you you will get a project created, res demo with the standard web application structure. Okay, now I'm going to create an interface. Okay, so new interface so that I can uh, have the methods defined, sorry, declared. So the package name could be com ks rest, whatever you like. The name is, it is a rest handler. So I'm going to create a class like this. For the purpose of the demo, I have created a document that contains all the code. So what I do is I'll copy the code snippets, but I'll take you through the um, to the steps. Okay, so I have created a REST handler. In that, I'm going to have one key um, operation which is called handle operation, and the rest is default, init destroy kind of thing. So let me copy paste this, control C, command V. Okay, I'll get a few exceptions or errors because of imports not being done. So the first thing is you have a REST exception. So what I do is I'll create a class because I'm going to have a custom exception class. Okay, let me import hash map. So create REST exception. So it will create superclass will be exception, which is very good. So I just click on finish. So you got the REST exception and the REST handler. So let's get back to REST handler. We have to have a few imports here, which I have pasted here. So which are like input stream and output stream, which you can straight away click and add. But for the in this demo, I'll paste. So now we have no exceptions in this particular class. So we have defined uh, declared the interface. The next thing is the exception. We want to have a few methods in the exception so that um, it can give a bit of description. So let's get back to REST exception. Okay, so you have a constructor which calls the super, which is exceptions. You have the one that takes message and passes it, throwable, string and throwable, so which is the standard method of writing custom exceptions. Okay, so let's get back, and we're going to have a servlet. We call it as a res servlet. So and this is where we have or will have the business logic. So let's create a new servlet. We call it as REST servlet. um, Again, the package, I'm going to change it to put it in servlet. So we have comcase REST servlet, and the name is REST servlet. Okay, don't click finish, click on next, because the URL mappings is what we have to update. We edit it so that we have the standard REST model of URLs. So give /res/star and click finish. Okay, so we have a basic skeleton of the servlet. The next step would be writing an XML util file which can read the XML files. So this is an utility, and you can find the source code in IBM Redbook relating to Ajax applications. So I'm going to straight away create XML util class here. I call it as a class XML util and click finish. And I'm going to copy paste the whole source code just to save time. Again, this is not complicated. This is all routine stuff when it comes to reading XML files. So hopefully you can go through this and have an understanding. I'll pull this down a bit. Okay, so yeah, this is all about the servlet. Sorry, the XML util file, the utility file that can help you reading XML files. Now let's get back to the REST servlet. We have the init and destroy methods there. So and the constructor, we need to make a few changes. First of all, I need a handlers hash table. So I'll paste the code one by one so that you can follow a bit. Okay, I'll paste it here. Okay, and in this I'm going to create an instance of it. Okay, so it is complaining about the import, which I'll get back in a minute. Okay, so we have a new hash table thing. So let's get back to the init method. So I'm copy pasting the whole init method as well as destroy. These are not in the initial steps, so I can freely add them here. I'll get a bunch of import errors which I'll get back soon. Okay, so we have an init which tells like, okay, I have to read a handler file. So if you remember, I'm going to create this REST handlers file in a while. So the XML util will read that particular XML file. The rest is standard stuff. Okay, destroy, you are going to release the resources. That's the thing. Okay, now if you remember, we have the handle request in the interface. I'm going to implement that particular method and have it in my servlet so that it can be called. So after the destroy, I'm going to paste the method, and again these are all the import issues which I'll add all imports in one shot. Okay, next thing is we have put get in the servlet. In addition to that, we need a delete as well. So I'm going to copy paste one by one. in sequence. So before get, I will add the delete, and in the get I will call the handle request, because that is where I just have written the business logic. So instead of this, you call the handle request that I just added, and in the post you can copy paste this particular piece of code. Okay, so ultimately this is also calling the handle request, and because it is a post, information is coming, so it should have create, delete, and put. Since I don't have the put method already, so I'll paste the whole method. And again, I have one more method that is required, which is called parse, for parsing, which is used in one of the methods here. So I'll paste that one as well. So okay, so I have all the needed methods, and now the pa imports. You can resolve each one by clicking import servlet config javax.servlet, or or you can yeah, that's the option you have actually. For me, I'm going to copy paste, um, because I have some duplicates in like this. I'm going to delete these imports. Okay, so we are basically using W3C DOM document element node list, and SAX input source, SAX exception, and a couple of my custom classes, REST exception and REST handler. So well, so there are no compilation errors, which is good. um, Next comes is because I'm going to write JSON for Java, I have to have the JSON4j jar file. So for that purpose, I have checked. I'm going to copy this, go into um, webenv and lib, and I'm going to paste the jar file. So JSON4jar is required for writing the implemented handlers, because I'm going to use the methods there. Okay, now I want to have a test handler to see how it's working. Okay, so I'll create a class. I call it as a test handler, and this is going to implement the interface REST handler. Okay, the package, I'm going to change it as to demo, something addition to the existing one. Okay, so you have a test handler which implements REST handler. Okay, you have init method. So in the init method, you go and put some system println so that you can see that it is getting initialized or not. The handle operation, which is a key operation, we are just going to deal with operation read, so don't worry about the rest of the operations. I missed one additional parenthesis, so which is fine. So you have the method handle, good. Add one line to the destroy as well, just to keep track that you are going through the life cycle. And we are going to create a sample data object. So for that, I have written a method create sample data, and that creates a JSON array. So I'll copy paste this, and add it just after the destroy. Okay, um, now I have to do a few imports. um, yeah, you have to import com IBM JSON Java from this particular package. It's the same, so we are almost resolving. It's the Java IO exception. Okay, so we have resolved all our exceptions here, which is good. um, okay, so we have almost all the classes. Now we have to have the REST handler, which we have used in the servlet. So we call it as REST handlers.xml, and we'll create this in webinf folder. Create a new file, call it as REST handlers.xml. Yeah, so if you give a different name, you have to specify that in your servlet. Finish, paste. So we are using the test handler, which is, see this one, with full package details as com ks rest demo. You have to make sure that it is the same so that it can invoke. Okay, so the step now is to have a sample JSP, or sorry, a HTML file that can make a call. So for that, come back to web content, create a file, new file, and call it as index.html, and you are good to go. So when you click on this, it is going to invoke the REST employee demo. If you remember, we have given that URL mapping as REST star. Anything that starts with REST is good for you. So to test this application, I'm going to run it on the server, and I'm going to select applications. So when I click on demo, I got all the details. Yeah, this is the data which I have put in my uh, file in the test handler. If you know, this is create data, sample data. So from this we are getting these values, and I'll try to show you what mistake happened a minute back. I had a space here because, okay, let's save this file, and want to run it again. Run on server, finish. You got the page. When you click it, it said, oh, you have a problem. Yeah, HTTP. So when I had a look at the problem, it clearly told me that, okay, hold on, I could not find something like space com ks blah blah blah. So which I fixed it by identifying the problem is when copy pasting there is a space issue. Again, so now if I give a try from my server and I click the demo, I get the data, and that is it. Thank you for watching the video.